Yeeps 2.0, the biggest update in Yeeps history, is only a few days away. But really, it's more than just an update. We're leveling up the entire game using the foundation we've built over this incredible past year to make sure Yeeps is bigger and better than ever. So what does that look like? Well, let me show you.
We're pushing him through the wall!
That's right, Yeeps 2.0 is all about a brand new, gigantic... We've rebuilt everything from the ground up into one cohesive open world. And to do that, we got to work with 5 of our best build teams to show you the peak of Yeeps building. Where are the old maps? Don't worry, they're still here, but I'll cover that part later. Having the maps laid out in an open world like this lets us breathe new life into all the biomes in Yeeps, so that each one can grow into a real place with its own unique gnome society and culture. And of course, a bigger world also means... We asked you what you wanted to see in Yeeps 2.0, and this one came up more than anything. So, we delivered. Now you can build taller towers, longer passageways, bigger mazes, and so much more. This new world is alive, in every sense of the word. It's full of NPCs that you can chat with, trade with, hang out with, and of course, battle. But not only that, there's also now... In Yeeps 2.0, time exists, and based on the time of day, you may encounter an unexpected pack of visitors. Of course, it is Yeeps, so most of the time it's night. But let me tell you, from experience, looking out at your first Yeeps sunset is something truly breathtaking. Now I'm sure some of you are also curious about the new terrain, and I'll get to that, but first, we need to talk about... No open world is complete without secrets to discover and fun things to do. So all throughout this new world, you'll find... Yeeps has tons of classic modes to choose from, and for the first week of 2.0, we'll be expanding the world with a new map every single day for each of our classic modes. In short, the core game modes of Yeeps are all making a return. But in 2.0, things are even better, because you'll also earn something for every time you play a game. Those gnome societies I mentioned earlier trade with a brand new currency, silver beans. And beans are super easy to rack up. Of course, you can earn beans for playing games, but many of the mobs you see wandering around are also packed full of beans. So if you beat them up or build some contraption, you can accumulate some big bean numbers. You can use these beans all throughout the world, whether it's to trade for early game items, access secret areas, or even fast travel. And beans aren't the only resource hidden in this world. As with any open world, this one is full of hidden treasures and loot. Some of it is pretty easy to find, but there are others hidden in dungeons that require a bit more skill to navigate. This merchant here is always looking for rare treasures from across the Yeeps world, and if you can find some, the merchant won't just give you beans, they'll actually give you a hefty sum of butt coins. That's right, there are now weekly quests to earn even more butt coins and progress faster than ever. That's not the only way we're making our progression faster. We know that over this past year at Yeeps, we've added hundreds of new building blocks from them. So to help our new and returning players keep up, each week at random, a few of our older blocks will be made free for everyone. Of course, this is only for old blocks, and you never know what you're going to get, but if you just want to get straight to building, be sure to swing by every week to get your hands on some free blocks. Alright, that's great and all, but where are the, As with any Yeeps update, we're adding some new gadgets. And we did say this was bigger than a biome, so we didn't just add 1 or 2 new gadgets, we added a new gadget for every single biome, and then some. Meaning we're adding more gadgets in this update than we've added in any update since launch. Now, we won't spoil them all here, since it'll be more fun to try it for yourself, but here's one of my favorites, the saw blade launcher. With it, you can rip out a powerful saw blade that rides up walls and slices through Yeeps and pillars with ease. And speaking of new things, we also added a ton of new mobs, with multiple in every biome, each with different traits, behaviors, and attacks. Some of them can only be found in certain dungeons that you'll have to discover for yourself, but there's a ton of new life everywhere, all over the world, including our first highly requested flying mob. A big reason for this new world was to add more customization options for builders. For example, you can change the time of day on your maps, and you could make maps darker than before if you want to have that spooky basement atmosphere. Of course, as we promised, you can make maps way bigger now. You can also just straight up build out a balance. That terrain you see out there is fully customizable, allowing you to shape the flat outside of your map to better match what's inside, or just wall in your entire map if you want. And you can build simple structures, cityscapes, and really anything to make your maps feel more like a part of a larger world. And of course, last but not least, even though we're excited to level up our map design for the better, we know that sometimes you feel nostalgic for the classics. And the gnomes of this world get that too. So each week, they'll build you a perfect replica of a random classic map from Yeeps' past. That way, this map is available for everyone to play on together in the public world.
and the drop coming right after 2.0, you'll be able to use your beans to have the gnomes build a specific map just for your lobby.
That way you can access every single map from Yeeps' entire year-long history whenever you want, so stay tuned for that.
If you hop in during the first week after Yeeps 2.0 launches, you'll also be able to get an exclusive free limited time cosmetic.
Oh, and one more bonus. If you're wondering what the bundle is, this is the Voyager. And in honor of Yeeps 2.0, we're not just giving you one gadget reskin, we're giving you two. They're reskins of our most iconic classic gadgets, the Bat and the Pelican, but fit for a dimensional traveler. So, are you ready for Yeeps 2.0? We're adding a brand new, living open world. Over 20 new maps, multiple hidden dungeons and secrets, tons of new mobs, a bunch of new gadgets and new blocks to mess with, more building features, more ways to earn butt coins, a new gnome economy, and the return of every map from Yeeps' history. This new world is massive, and we didn't even show you half of what's out there. So make sure you're there on Thursday to see it for yourself. See you out there. Over 20 new maps, multiple hidden dungeons and secrets, tons of new mobs, a bunch of new gadgets and new blocks to mess with, more building features, more ways to earn Over 20 new maps, multiple hidden dungeons and secrets, tons of new mobs, a bunch of new gadgets and new blocks to mess with, more building features, more ways to earn butt coins, a new gnome economy, and the return of every map from Yeeps' history. This new world more ways to earn butt coins, a new gnome economy, and the return of every map from Yeeps' history. This new world